Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 4 of our Introduction to Business class. This is Mark Evans. Hope that you're enjoying the class so far. We're finishing up 3 weeks and getting ready to start the 4th one. I want to commend you on a job well done so far. I've really enjoyed reading the assignments and reading your discussion posts and participating in the class with you. A lot of you have some really good ideas, and I enjoy reading what you have to say. This week we start a new week, and we're going to be working on a little bit of business structure, but then transition over into some management and motivation things and kind of different subjects. As you know, an introduction to business covers a whole lot of different subject matters, and so again, this week we'll be hitting on some new things. We're going to talk about franchises this week. We're going to talk about what it means to be an entrepreneur. We're going to talk about the differences between big businesses and small businesses and things like that. And maybe you'll find some of those things interesting. If you have any ideas or goals about starting your own business at some point, some of these things might be interesting to you. From that point, we'll transition over to the role of a manager in an organization. And that is different than being a leader. Some people think because that they are a manager that they are a leader, and that's just not true. We all know people that have a position, but we wouldn't consider them a leader by any stretch of the imagination. But we're going to be looking at the functions of management. Basically, there are 5. Some folks say 4, but for the purposes of what we're talking about, there are 5. There's the planning, as managers plan work, plan what's coming up, things that need to be done, that sort of thing. Organizing the workforce, organizing the material, things like that. Staffing, hiring people, letting people go. You know, how many people do we need to get the job done? And then certainly directing, telling the workforce what to do, and providing direction to the workforce. And finally, controlling. Making sure things go the way they should, and so forth. That is somewhat archaic, even though that is a good basic definition of management. We see today in our more service economies, more knowledge-based work, people being able to work from home, people having more autonomy. We see team-based work, things like that, where some of the roles of the manager are really changing, where they're not so much directing and controlling as say they used to do. So some people like to work in an environment where they just do what they're told. The boss does all the thinking, if you will, and they just have to do their 8 hours and go home. Others want to have involvement, empowerment, be involved in things and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of different viewpoints on the role of managers, if you will. And so we're going to be talking about those 2 things this week, and I hope that you're going to enjoy it. Now, just for a couple of housekeeping things that you need to remember, this is week 4. It's the last week before Christmas. Everything is due by Saturday as usual, but then there will be no assignments and no work that you need to do until after January the 1st, when everybody comes back from Christmas. I will be posting stuff this week and working on things this week just like a normal week, but once you get past Saturday night, you have a break. I hope that you have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, that you stay safe, and everything goes good for you. I know that it can be very hectic, it can be very exciting, and who knows, you never know what's going to happen during the holiday seasons. So I hope that you'll have a good holiday, and obviously take a break from school and rest. So this week is kind of a seminal week, and then we'll take a break. I will do office hours on Thursday night this week at 8 o'clock in the Collaborate session. That is totally voluntary. It's just a time for me to be available to you if you have questions or anything like that. So log on Thursday night 8 o'clock if you want, and I'll be there for a while. Another thing I want to make sure that you understand is please go out and make sure you've looked at the syllabus, looked at the different guidelines for discussion posts, guidelines for assignments, and things like that, okay? I see where some of the grades could be a lot easier, or a lot better, I should say, if you follow some of these guidelines. A lot of good comments, and I'd just like to see those expounded on a little more, using the references like we've talked about, hitting the deadlines that you have to hit, and so forth. So if you haven't spent much time doing it, go back through the syllabus, go back through those guidelines, and I think some of you will see that your grade scores would get a lot better. But keep up the good work. I think for the most part we're doing good, and I look forward to working with you again this week.